And now that we can take a low-quality picture with our cell phones, we even have more photos we'll never dig through.
Before the contest started today, they had a special presentation for a distinguished former wrestler and coach. It's Jim Koch who's actually presenting the awards right now, the former head coach at Wisconsin Parkside. Sean Ambrosio receiving his award as the champion.
Coach Koch's first class. He ran a fantastic program at Parkside for a number of years and influenced hundreds and hundreds of young men. I can't say enough good things about him. I've been on the receiving end of being dominated by a couple of his guys over the years, and he's just first class. Definitely worthy of being the distinguished coach here at the Wheaton Invitational.
1971 National Collegiate Rookie Coach of the Year at Wisconsin Parkside. Was the head coach there from 1970 all the way through 2011. Coached 14 national champions and 128 All-Americans. Wisconsin Whitewater and College of Mount St. Joseph match up in our championship at 141. Wayne Black, a junior out of the College of Mount St. Joseph in suburban Cincinnati. In the whites, Jake Fredrickson, a senior from Wisconsin Whitewater, is in the black. Black 28-8 this season, 7 pins. Jake Fredrickson 29-6, sits 8th in the latest NWCA Division III rankings. 2:35 in the first. Both wrestlers continue to feel each other out. Black playing some good defense here, trying to get a read on Fredrickson. Black is the 5th seed. He took out the top seed Caleb Lote from Messiah in the semifinals. Fredrickson, the 2 seed from Wisconsin Whitewater, knocked out the 3rd seed Kenneth Richmond from Olivet in the semis. Fredrickson opened with a major, followed with a tech fall, and then a couple of decisions to reach the championship. Black with a major, followed by 3 straight decisions, including that 3-1 win in the semifinals over Lote. We're still scoreless inside of 2 minutes in the first. It's really the first match today that we've seen where the wrestlers have been very cautious in the opening period, Dan.
Yeah, this is definitely a slow start. Feeling each other out. Nobody wants to give up big points early. Wow.
Hendrickson.
He's got to finish that low.
Raising
the
the leg.
Up high prematurely. He'll sweep that leg and go for the takedown. Look at the balance.
Take it out.
Look at the balance that Black has. He's not going down easy. Wow.
Nothing. What a job defensively.
Yeah. Black had his leg above his head. He dropped down into a head spin and was able to elude the takedown.
Mount St. Joseph coaching staff was very pleased at the effort of Black.
I'll tell you, that's frustrating if you're Fredrickson at that point.
Black has put together one of the stronger individual performances in terms of surprises reaching the championship. We had a 7 seed and her from Parkside in the last contest. Black is the 5th seed here.
That's one of the great things about the Pete Willson-Wheaton Wrestling Invitational is this can be a real coming out party for you. You may come into the tournament with a lower seed, but you know it's the right time of the season to be peaking. And it's really a time when guys figure out who they are and what they have in their chest when it comes down to the heart to win.
Still scoreless. Down to the final 15 seconds. Again, looking for offense. Fredrickson late. Fredrickson wrapped around a left leg. Can Black avoid it again? It looks like he does. Went for the sweep. And will stay neutral for the final 5 seconds. Terry Giardini was a little premature there. He heard the first horn and thought it was for the championship match. It was actually on the 3rd place match. Now the first will expire. And Lee remains scoreless.
I'll tell you, it looks like Black feels pretty confident after that. I mean, Fredrickson was in deep on a couple of shots and wasn't able to finish, and he's feeling like he's got the momentum.
It is Fredrickson's choice. He chooses down to begin the second. 2 minutes up on the clock. Black will pick up some riding time here. Fredrickson looking to score first with an escape, and he does. Only 7 seconds is all it took for Fredrickson to erase himself from the tangle of Wayne Black. 1:40 in the second. Black has the right arm, look to rip it away from Fredrickson.
Guys are still pretty cautious, but we saw that in the first period as well. And next thing you know, Fredrickson, like a sly fox, is going in with a really nice shot. So we'll see if he does that again.
Does that have a lot to do with in a championship match? You don't want to make a mistake to put yourself on your backside quickly?
Oh, I think so. I mean, nobody wants to, get down by too much because points are too hard to come by.
Inside of a minute in the second. Fredrickson, by virtue of an early escape here in the second, holds a 1-0 lead. Just a 7-second riding time advantage, so no margin there.
These guys need to mix it up a little bit. I'd like for a double stalling call or something to be called.
Well, here's some attack. Or to the edge of the mat, still neutral.
Black's trying to keep him on. Fredrickson's trying to pull himself off there.
And a stalemate with 23 seconds in the second. Black just dancing around, letting those arms dangle. Final 15 seconds of the second.
If Fredrickson wants to open this thing up, he's really got to turn the pace up. I think he has an advantage here, or at least he did in the first period, but he didn't capitalize it there in the second period. He just let the pace go too slow.
He has to come to Black as well. Yeah. Black's just sitting back and waiting for him.
Yeah.
Black's wrestling down a perfect
match.
Here in the third.
He's wrestling a perfect match for himself.
Fredrickson with an early restart. He has the 1-point advantage to begin the third. If Black can escape, he'll be all square. He's to his feet, looking to rip away, but Fredrickson will take him down in front of us. So it remains a 1-point lead for Fredrickson as Black will try again from his knees.
I don't know how good Fredrickson is on top, but if I was him, I think I'd let Black go and try and finish this thing on my feet. He's got to open it up.
That's the second caution. Fredrickson looks a little frustrated. Is Black doing anything to lead Fredrickson into those cautions?
Yeah, those are always tough ones.
There's an escape. So we're all square at 1 apiece here at 1:41 of the championship match. Black shuffling to his right.
I could see this coming down to one takedown, and then a guy gets an escape, and they finish off, battle in the last 20 seconds. I don't know who's going to get it, though.
Fredrickson shakes it off with a right hand. Black with a quick look at the clock. Fredrickson in hard. There's a warning against Black. Oh, close to the leg, near the edge of the mat. 1 minute remaining.
Black's been reactive the entire time, but his reactions are just lightning quick. And really puts Fredrickson in a dangerous position every time he takes a shot.
Could be headed for our first overtime matchup of the day.
Watch this. You are kidding me.
My goodness.
Oh, baby.
How about the explosiveness?
Wow.
He seems like he's toying with Fredrickson.
It's interesting. Fredrickson takes a shot, and Black is behind him in a second. No points there, folks. You got to get the guy down with his hands on the mat as well, not just behind him. I think Black's probably still got at least one more in his tool bag here.
Still even at 1 apiece. Down to the final 15 of regulation. Black staying on the balls of his feet, driving in, working high on Fredrickson.
Both just working for position, working for an opening. Looks like they're going to let the last 3 seconds go and go into overtime.
There it is. Overtime at 1:41 in the championship.
Remember, folks, the first 2 takedowns of the match, Black almost got taken down twice in the first period. Fredrickson wasn't able to finish, and make no mistake, that stuff's playing in Fredrickson's mind right now.
1 minute on the clock again.
Although he is
Black
in
in a
deep
precarious position. But he uses his momentum to avoid trouble.
The defense of Black is fantastic. I can see why he made it to the finals. You can hardly score on him.
He actually allowed 7 points in his first match, but it was a
wow.
20-7 major over Alan Fenner from Concordia.
I imagine a lot of escapes in that one.
"20 seconds left in OT. Fredrickson driving. Black still in position. Looking for the takedown. There it is. The first takedown comes with 9 seconds in OT. And Fredrickson pumping his fist. He comes up with the sudden victory. 3-1.
That was a great match. That was a great match.
Black, I think, is a little frustrated because he knew the opportunity was there throughout, played some great defense, and it took sudden victory for Fredrickson to come up with that 3-1 decision.
Look at that, though. Fredrickson never stopped. I mean, it would have been really easy after all the missed attempts that he had and after all the times where he almost got snake bit for him to have gotten just totally frustrated. But he ended up even taking the offensive shot in overtime and then redoubled his shot, and ended up scoring on the edge of the mat. Fantastic. That's what this is about.
Big win for Wisconsin-Whitewater, who is looking to make its way into the top 3 here at the Pete Wilson Invitational in 2013. Wisconsin-Whitewater finished as the runner-up last year with 102 points.
You know, Tim, you had mentioned all the different states represented here, and obviously if we looked at the individual athletes, there'd be even more states represented. But I know out there, even on the World Wide Web, we've got a number of Wheaton alumni. I know Wade Torpy, the brother of Scott Torpy, who's the head assistant here at Wheaton. He's listening out there in New Jersey, so we give a shout out to him. I've got a number of guys from my class. We got Emery Petschauer and Nate Albaugh and Dave Hurt and Mike Martinez and a number of guys listening out there. And so, I'm glad that we have the ability now, without even being here at this annual event, to participate in the excitement of the Pete Wilson Wrestling Invitational.
This event was renamed in 2001 to honor Pete Wilson, as the 5th place match comes to a close to our left. And we'll have the awards at 1:33 prior to the matchup here at 1:49. One of the things that's really unique about this event from year to year too, Dana, is you don't see a lot of repeat champions. There's so many individuals who, for whatever reason, maybe they had taken until their senior year to reach the championship, or they just struggle or move up a weight class. Regardless, you're looking down last year's winners, finalists from this season. There's really only one individual who will have a chance to repeat.
I'll tell you what, to make it to the finals in this tournament one time is remarkable. To win the tournament twice is even more remarkable, and is truly a difficult feat. I mean, you may not notice this if you don't follow Division III wrestling very much, but this tournament is on par, at least in the top 3 to 5 place winners, with the Division I, II, or the NAI National Championship tournament. And so, to be able to be on that award stand one time in first place is absolutely commendable.
First year of this tournament was 1938. Wheaton won the first 2 championships in 1938 and 1939, but has not won since 1962. Last year, the outstanding wrestler, Tim Wenicky of Wisconsin-Platteville. Darren Faber of Wheaton earned the Sportsmanship Award. Most falls and least time was Michael Lecter from Ohio Northern. Derek Hessen from Mount Union with the fastest fall in just 16 seconds. Should be noted, I mentioned there's one individual won a championship last year. Well, Nazar Kolchinsky, you'll see coming up in a little while, is actually wrestling at 165. Won the championship last year at 157, so he's up a weight class. Championship match at 149 pounds. Gage Peterson from Olivet College. He's a junior in the black. Greg Sanders out of Concordia, Wisconsin, a sophomore in the blue. Concordia, Wisconsin, a rapidly improving program on the national scene. Sitting in 9th place here at the Pete Wilson Invitational, entering the championship round, and they already have a championship to their credit. Winning the title at 125 in our first contest today.
If you look closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the internet, but for the millions of folks that are watching out there, you're going to notice that Gage Peterson is sporting a mustache, and I just can't help but be grateful that I didn't grow up in an era where the mustache was commonplace, because I can't grow much of a mustache. And so I don't know if he's a holdout from Movember. I've tried, and it always looks a little offensive. So, but he's sporting a nice one. He's looking good. He's actually got a little bit of a midsummer tan. I'm not sure how you get that in the middle of Michigan, but whatever.
It's a little early.
Maybe he was out.
Break, right?
Hey, he was. Maybe he was out chopping wood. I mean, you just never know.
Gage Peterson in the black, ranked 8th in the NWCA Division III rankings, finished 4th last year. Winner of 9 matches in a row, 29-6 overall. Gage Sanders finds himself slotted 5th in the NWCA rankings, 26-2. 37-5 last year, was the National Freshman of the Year, set a school record for wins, takedowns, 3-point near falls, and consecutive victories. And listen to this, Dan. I want to see you try this. Greg Sanders became a YouTube sensation last year for performing a backflip for a reversal at the Florida Golf Duels.
Come on. This is the guy from Concordia?
You got it.
Oh, I love it. Whoa.
154 in the first. Sanders from Concordia is the 3rd seed. Peterson from Olivet, the top seed. Peterson actually was challenged in his very first match yesterday. 7-5 decision over Jonathan Hoops from Ohio Northern. He then followed that up with a 4-2 win over the 8th seed, Chris Williamson from Messiah. It's 8-2 in a narrow decision in the semifinals over the 5th seed as well, Elroy Perkin from Wisconsin-Whitewater. Greg Sanders recorded a pin in his opening bout. Then a major decision, a 9-7 win, and a pin in the semifinals earlier today as well over the 7th seed, Daniel Meerman from John Carroll. Still scoreless in the first period, closing in on 1 minute remaining.
Wow, that duck under was fantastic.
Oh, Sanders using his strength. First points of the period on a takedown. Sanders backing up on Peterson. Sanders is a Texas native, won a Texas State Championship, finishing 50-1 at 135 pounds. Dropped only 13 matches in his entire high school career. He holds the 2-0 lead. And Peterson is unable to escape so far.
Looks like Peterson from Olivet is hurt or something. He's nice.
Is he bleeding from the nose?
That's where he keeps going. Or if he's favoring an ankle, or I'm not sure what's going on.
33.2 as we resume in the first. Peterson to his feet, cannot rip himself away from Sanders, who again floors him. Final 15.
It also could be he's a little disoriented after being introduced to Hurricane. What is this, Hurricane Sanders in this case, or Hurricane Gage? I suppose they go by first names. Hurricane Greg from Concordia.
He's only a sophomore as well.
Oh, they both are just sophomores.
Peterson's a junior, Sanders is a sophomore.
Wow.
Both are ranked right now in the NWCA at 149. First period expires. Choice belongs to Peterson from Olivet. He'll defer. And Greg Sanders starts down to begin this second. Has a 1 minute advantage right now in riding time. We'll look for a quick escape as well. How about a reversal instead? Oh my goodness, quick reversal for Sanders, who had Peterson in a very precarious position, nearly on his backside.
Wow, and now he's got a cradle locked up.
4-0 lead. Peterson was the top seed in this event. Trying to work his way to his feet. He's trying to score a reversal as well, and does.
Wow.
There's the first points from Peterson.
Come on, Greg, here we go.
And now it's Sanders who's trying to hang on here in the second. Sanders looking for a reversal as well. That's the third reversal we have seen in this matchup. 2 from Sanders, 1 from Peterson, and a quick escape makes it 6-3 inside of the final minute here in the second.
It was like watching my 6- and 5-year-old wrestle. It's like 2 and 2 and 2, and one guy gets the pin, the other guy gets the pin. I mean, this is like a rodeo.
Are you officiating these things?
No, I normally
You don't stand there and say 2.
I normally sit back with a bag of popcorn and watch. It's like entertainment.
30 seconds left. Nothing yet. Peterson looking to work his way to his feet.
Say, it doesn't feel good to sit down there. He's taking a little bit of a beating. He's going to want to either try and finish that thing or back out.
Less than 10 seconds. That'll do it for the second. So now the choice belongs to Peterson, who trails 6-3 on the board. What do you do here to begin the third?
I don't know, Tim. Who do you think has more fuel left in their tank?
Haven't seen a whole lot of offense from Peterson so far, I'll say that. His only 2-point came on a reversal.
Yeah, that's right.
He
hasn't had too much offense. I really think the strength of Sanders has just been smothering.
Caution on Sanders. So we begin the third. 6-3 advantage for Greg Sanders of Concordia, Wisconsin, and a quick escape will make it 6-4. You're talking about a 3-point deficit, counting the riding time for Peterson, the top seed. Sanders, the third seed. Sanders.
Look at that. He's like a cat.
Wrapping his legs around Peterson. Now trying to twist around and a pin. The shoulders were on the mat, and Peterson cannot believe it. With 1:31 left in the third, we have our first pin of the day.
That was a really quick fall. I hate to see that. Kudos for Sanders. That was phenomenal, and frankly, he controlled most of the match. I think he would have ended up with the victory, but it's kind of a bummer to see that end prematurely. Although that's why they wrestled the match, and good job for Sanders being opportunistic.
Concordia, Wisconsin has its second individual champion. They won at 125 and now at 149 as well. Greg Sanders, the fall at the 5:29 marker to come up with the win. He was leading 6-4 on the board, plus a minute of riding time at the time of the fall. Only one match still continuing, and that's in the third of the fifth place match. We're at 16-3 with only 13 seconds left. We won't talk too much about that. So we look onward. 157 will be upcoming after some awards. The Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational is a double elimination tournament. The trophies and place winners, first through eighth. Final over there was 17-3. And the awards coming at 141. It's a pretty strong match here at 149 that turned very, very quickly for a frustrated Gage Peterson.
Let's go, Dylan.
Again, the awards are being presented now for 141.
Ladies and gentlemen, 141 pounds, 2013 Pete Willson Invitational
Wisconsin Whitewater, about 2 hours or so from here in Wheaton. Nice contingency of fans who are recognizing their champion at 141 pounds. That's Jake Fredrickson. We're actually going to start the championship match here on mat 2 in front of us. At 157, Dylan Barra, redshirt senior from Wisconsin Parkside in the black. Elias Larson is a senior from Trine.
Elias Larson is just he was a runner-up here last year, lost to Klaczynski in the finals, and he's an absolute stud, and has done a great job getting here to the finals again. He's got to be the heavy favorite, at least in my mind, although Barra is the number 1 seed. So these guys may have a history. And what's Barra ranked Division II?
Top 2 wrestlers in Division I and Division II. Larson from Trine is number 1 in Division III. Barra from Parkside, number 1 in Division II.
Wow.
Barra is 16-2 this year, finished second at the Division II National Championships last year. Larson 11-2 this season. Both of his losses have come to Division I wrestlers. These are the top 2 seeds. And it is Larson looking for the first points, and he has himself a takedown, but quickly to his feet. Barra driven around again, now looking for the reversal as he tries to tangle the left leg of Larson. How about the performance for Larson in this tournament so far? Dan, listen to this. He opened against Zach Sheridan from Elizabethtown, a fall in less than 4 minutes. His second match, Brandon Stradle from Wisconsin-Eau Claire, a fall in 39 seconds. His third match, Sean Brewer from Alma, a fall in 3:37. His semifinal match against the 6th seed, Mark Sabanach of Wheaton, a fall in 2:43. 4 falls for Larson to date.
Watch your back. Watch your back. Larson's obviously a pinner, and Barra just got that reversal right at the end, right on the edge of the mat, and he's clearly come to wrestle as well.
Both of these wrestlers have eased their way through the field here at the Pete Willson Invitational. Barra with a tech fall, and a forfeit to reach the championship. Received a bye as the number 1 seed. Larson Circling around and secures a takedown. 4-2 in the first. He'll milk off that riding time. And now it starts to tick in his favor.
Larson's got a really good inside cradle. Maybe he has a good outside cradle as well, but
an escape for Berra. Two-time All-American and team captain for Wisconsin Parkside, who is in position to capture its second consecutive championship trophy here in the Pete Wilson Invite.
I'll tell you, it just seems like you look all across the mats right here at these guys, and these wrestlers are just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, at 157 pounds, I would hate to be at this weight. These guys look like they could weigh 170. Compared to when I was wrestling here, just 13, 14 years ago, it's like these guys would break me in half.
Are you volunteering to go out there again?
Not a chance. I'm actually, I'm a bit sheepish as I sit here. This close to him's enough.
Larson starts in the down position to begin the second with a 4-3 lead. Number 1 in Division II, Berra in the black from Parkside. Number 1 in Division III, Larson in the gold from Trine.
These guys both like wrestling on the mat, so we'll see. Most of the points have been scored so far by reversals. Let's see what happens here.
Berra looking to flip Larson.
Yeah, Berra's trying to get legs in, work a cross body ride, now trying to get a power half. Wouldn't be surprised to see Larson keep the rotation through.
I would think the winner of this matchup has a very good shot to potentially be named as the most outstanding wrestler. There's finally an escape for Larson, who now holds a 2-point lead on the board at 5-3 as we close in on the final minute of the second.
For you Wheaton fans out there, we've actually on the third place mat right now have Mark Savinock wrestling. And Mark was a 6th seed coming into the tournament. He right now is wrestling against Layton. And what is he winning, or
that's the score Jim Layton from the University of Chicago. I believe he's up 4-2 in the third place matchup presently.
So Savinock's winning 4-2. He's had a good tournament. Actually did get pinned by Larson in the semis, which is I think more of a statement about Larson than it is about Savinock. Savinock's a really, really tough wrestler, and one of the best that Coach Grunwald has on his team right now.
30 seconds remaining in the second in front of us. 5-3 lead for Larson of Trine. Trying to buy the time potentially. Berra just pushing down Larson. Berra finished third last season here at the Pete Wilson Invitational. And we will head to the third. It's Berra in the down position, trailing by 2. No riding time advantage right now. Berra to his feet and an escape. So now it's 5-4. Berra backs up. Larson waiting for Berra to come to him. .120 left.
These guys are going forward and back, forward and back. Somebody needs to start circling a little bit. Try and create an angle so that you can score.
Larson entangles the left leg of Berra. Raises him off his feet. Looking to drive him to the mat. Berra holding his own.
Wow.
Right in front of us, a good view, Dan.
It's like a medieval gladiator games. Berra said, I don't mind if you're that deep. I'll just crush your sternum.
51.1.
51 seconds left. 5-4.
45 seconds left. Savinock leading 4-3, by the way, with 30 seconds remaining in his third place showdown.
35,
Elias Larson waiting, driving is Vera. 30 seconds left. Vera needs a takedown to win this match.
Vera needs to get a little bit of penetration. Larson obviously is going to protect. Got a stalling call there on Larson. Vera needs to get a little bit of penetration. He's got to make the either make the ref make the call, or he's got to make the 2 points himself. So
inside of 10 seconds.
5 seconds left. It's a tough one.
Elias Larson of trying with a 5-4 win over the number 1 ranked wrestler in Division II, Dylan Vera.
That's a great bout. It's a great bout. Elias Larson picking up the victory, but those are two great wrestlers.
Mark Savinock with a 6-3 victory to finish third on the other match for Wheaton. Downing Jim Layton of Chicago.
It's great looking around at who visits here. We've got the president of Wheaton College, Phil Reichen. We've got Tom Jarman, who was one of Wheaton's national champions. Coach Norton, who was the Wheaton wrestling coach while I was here for about 10 or I suppose he was coach for 10 or 13 years.
You were here for 10 or 13 years?
Yeah, it was a lot of guys get doctorates at that point, and I just barely made it under the radar. So I see Mr. Hurt. He's the father of a guy that I wrestled with, Dave Hurt, who was also a Wheaton All-American back in the early 2000s. And there's just so many alumni here. It's just great to be here. It's a great environment and a great tournament.
Do you have any photos to pose for today?
No. After they saw the amount of space I took up in the photos last year, they asked if I would not be photographed this year. I remember looking at the picture. They put it in one of the Wheaton magazines of the 4 national champions from Wheaton, and I thought, well, who's the fat guy there on the right? And then I realized, oh, that's me. So, yeah, we're done with.
It was the camera, right?
We're done with pictures, and that's the other reason why you're only hearing my voice right now. They say that I had a face for radio.
Who am I to argue?
Well, and that's why I like you, Tim. That's why we keep you around. All in good fun.
We'll move on to 165 in front of us. Again, the top 2 seeds will tangle. Nazar Kolchinsky, junior from Wisconsin Oshkosh. Nick Fishback, redshirt freshman from Wisconsin Parkside. We also have the 3rd and 5th place matches going on for this one. At 3rd place, the 4th seed, Ricardo Plummer from Messiah.
Kolchinsky's absolutely dominated this tournament. He had a pin in 50 seconds. He had a technical fall in 6 minutes, and then he had a fall in 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the semis. He has absolutely phenomenal strength. He's got good throws. He's quick as can be, and can be very exciting to watch. We'll see what happens here in the finals. I know last year his final match with Elias Larson was left something to be desired from an excitement perspective, but we'll see what happens here.
And only a junior, Nazar Kolchinsky, up a weight class. Last year won the championship at 157 here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. Oh, by the way, he won the national championship at 157 as well, finished 41-2. He is 31-1 this year with 19 pins. 3 of those pins have taken 31 seconds or less. He's meeting Nick Fishback, who's a redshirt freshman from Parkside, 26-12 mark this year. Fishback out of the south suburbs is a 2-time IHSA state qualifier in 3A at Sandburg High School. Finished with a mark of 126-51 in his career. Kolchinsky has the left leg of Fishback.
Look at that. He
and
just
a quick
puts you on your
takedown.
back. I think he got 2 near fall as well.
Takedown with the near fall makes it a 4-0 lead for Kolchinsky here in the first. Presently ranked number 2 in the NWCA rankings. There's an escape for Fishback. 4-1 lead. We're just over a minute into the first period.
Peter Huang from Wheaton is wrestling on the 5th place match right now. He's just about to get a takedown, and that's another guy that has just been a great contributor to Coach Grunwald's team.
He's meeting Yusuf Al Ghul from Elmhurst. So a nice little CCIW matchup to our left.
Kolchinsky's got another takedown here, it looks like. Yep.
2 more.
Goes right into a
coming
tilt.
With it.
Going right into a tilt.
Add 3 to it. Make it 9-1. Kolchinsky almost gave himself up there.
I think Kolchinsky almost knocked himself out there as Fishback landed right on his head.
9-2, last minute of the first.
Kolchinsky really is looking like he's having a hard time. He's blinking his eyes like he definitely got dazed when he brought down Fishback on his head.
Kolchinsky looking for more. Still a neutral position. I don't know how long it's going to stay, though.
No points there yet. Yeah, they break that for potentially dangerous. It's a good call by the official. Heck of a scramble by both guys, and good job for Fishback not giving up the takedown.
Nick Fishback opened with a fall in just over 4 minutes. Then a 7-0 shutout of Sean Flom from Concordia. 7-1 decision over Jeremy Regula from Mount Union, who's the 7th seed. And he took down Wheaton's Peter Huang 8-0 in a major decision this morning to reach the championship. So we'll move to the second. It's 9-2. Decision is to Kolchinsky. He'll defer. And Nick Fishback wants neutral to begin the second. Nope. Instead he chooses the up position as Kolchinsky will begin down. It's a 9-2 margin for Kolchinsky. You would think with a 9-2 score that he would have a certain riding time advantage. It's only at 30 seconds.
No, most of it seems to be, that's a good point. He did have 2 near falls, though, which really gave him the points.
An escape for Kolchinsky makes it 10-2. So now he has a major here in the second.
The match actually feels closer than an 8-point margin right now, mostly because of the 2 near fall that Fishback gave up. And there's still a lot of match left.
Kolchinsky just very patient.
Fishback's, I imagine, just trying to find any way that he can find a chink in the armor here of Kolchinsky.
Both wrestlers are in black. Fishback with the paw on the back of his uni in white. Also has Parkside across the chest written in green. Green headgear for Fishback. Last minute of the second. No scoring here in the second with the exception of the 1-point escape. Fishback drove for the leg. Kolchinsky was easily able to sidestep and now trying to create it into some offense for himself.
Kolchinsky's got a little seatbelt there. If they come to their feet, he may try and step in front and throw him. Fishback's definitely being cautious.
Neutral. Off the stalemate.
Kolchinsky looking at the clock.
Dancing around with the final 10 seconds of the second. Working high. Fishback looking to drive in, drops to his knees. And that'll do it for the second.
Fishback's frustrated. Again, he's looking for anything that may work. Kolchinsky chooses neutral for the third period, and I think they're probably both just as content to be up there, but unless Fishback can find an angle that he hasn't already found, it should be just about the same. here in the third period.
Top 2 seeds at 165. Championship of this Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. 10-2 advantage for Nazar Kolchinsky, the 2012 NCAA Division III champion at 157. Won the same title here at Pete Wilson, up a weight class this year.
You know, if you got to wrestle a guy like Kolchinsky, you're just hoping that he makes a mistake, because he's a absolute brick house. And unfortunately, he doesn't make many mistakes. He stays in really good position, and he's not going to give guys too many opportunities. I suppose that's why he's a returning national champion.
Kolchinsky with the takedown, looking for more. And a quick escape, it's 12-3. .40 seconds remaining. Fishback driving. Kolchinsky just slides away.
Those aren't very threatening shots at that point. He's shooting from a distance. Fishback's got to try and get closer, and ultimately, you know, great match. Kolchinsky just had a little bit too much for Fishback today.
Final 5 seconds. That's it. Nazar Kolchinsky, just a junior, claims his second championship here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. Last year at 157, this year at 165 by the final of 12-3.
And for those of you following from Wheaton College, Peter Huang just won 6-4 with a 1 point for riding time to take 5th place here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Wrestling Invitational.
Nice little battle between a couple of conference rivals, Wisconsin Lacrosse and Wisconsin Whitewater, tangling for 3rd and 4th respectively. Both have a championship here today. We'll see a couple more wrestlers from each of those programs as well before all is said and done. One of which will be coming up here at 174 for Wisconsin Lacrosse following the presentation of the awards. Over on the 3rd place match, the final 4 seconds are ticking away. And capturing 3rd place is the 4th seed, Ricardo Plummer from Messiah, with a 5-3 decision. So we'll have the presentation of the awards for 157.
In 7th place, from Wisconsin Whitewater, Cedric Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, John Harrison and Mount Union and Reese Lefevre on the raw edge. Both had medical forfeits. We had a double medical forfeit. In 4th place,
Presentation of the awards over to the left before we progress to 174. Officials have all gathered in front of us and are talking it over. Interesting matchup. Kyle Quiet from Ohio Northern will be the top seed at 174. He'll be opposed by the 7th seed, Kevin O'Brien, a strong performance from Wisconsin Lacrosse to reach the championship. And now all of the officials are gathering. So we're going to have a moment for a photo perhaps before we get started. Why not? We're past the midway point of the contest, right? Where's Dan? We better make sure he doesn't get in this picture, since he was talking about it earlier. Dan Weber, if you're not aware, the last national champion here at Wheaton. 2001 championship in 165. We just watched his former weight class. So all photographs are done. And everybody is smiling and happy and ready to go. Again, this is a big match for lacrosse, looking for third place. Presently holding on to third over Wisconsin-Whitewater, but that will end up very tight. Really, Wisconsin lacrosse could potentially challenge Messiah. Kevin O'Brien, the 7th seed, is in the silver, black, and maroon, while Kyle Quiet is in the almost tiger stripes uniform, orange, black. Kyle Quiet of Ohio Northern, a senior. Kevin O'Brien of Wisconsin lacrosse, a junior. O'Brien, the 2012 Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference champion at 165, so he's up a class. All-American a season ago, placed 4th in the national titles. Was the runner-up in 2011 here at the Pete Wilson Invitational. Lost a 5-3 decision in the title, and he's currently 8-2. Kyle Quiet, impressive, 29-3. He's ranked number 1 in Division III, and he scores the first points.
Yeah, Quiet has been a standout since his freshman year. I think he's been in the Wheaton Invitational Finals a number of times.
Finished 2nd last year, finished 3rd in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, really good.
But he hasn't been able to claim that elusive title, so that's definitely a chip on his shoulders today, I would imagine. Kyle Quiet opened with a tech fall over Stephen Franke from Chicago, then recorded a 9-6 decision over the 8th seed Ben Kramer from Messiah. And then a tech fall over the 4th seed Dan Schifferl from Wisconsin-Oshkosh in the semis. Kyle O'Brien is the 7th seed, received a bye, opened with a 7-2 decision over Casey Keneally from Concordia. Then a 5-3 win over the 2nd seed Matt Burns from Augustana. And a 6-2 decision over 3rd-seeded Ryan Piper from Tri. Top seed Kyle Quiet, the 7th seed Kevin O'Brien from Wisconsin lacrosse. 2-0 lead for Quiet.
Quiet's trying to work that leg in. He's a very good rider, good on top. It'll be interesting to see if O'Brien has any answer for that.
Turning toward the middle.
Raising the right leg of O'Brien.
A lot of pressure on O'Brien's lower back there, which may not be that big of a deal in this period, but by the time it gets into the 2nd and 3rd period, you may see Quiet getting this turn.
1:15 remaining. Riding time now over a minute for Quiet. O'Brien lunging, looking for anything here on the bottom. We'll head back to the middle as the stalemate is called. .102 left in the first. Quiet sizes it up. He's looking to turn O'Brien. Quiet has been dominant here in 2013. O'Brien's on his back. The count is on. O'Brien just content to stay put, apparently. 3-point near fall for Quiet. With 35 seconds left in the first, it's now 5-0. And again, it's O'Brien on his backside. Some more near fall points will be awarded. 3 more, make it 8-0 for Quiet in the first.
So every time Quiet transitions out of that and lets go of the crossface, he's able to come back and get the points again. And like
this.
Yeah, it's really something. So he's going to have 11 points in 2 minutes and 25 seconds of riding time going in here to the 2nd period.
It is 11-0 for Quiet. Very impressive so far in his 174 title tilt. Decision is with Quiet for the second.
Looks like Quiet may be able to chase down the elusive crown.
The senior from Ohio Northern chooses the down position to begin the second with an 11-0 lead plus riding time. Three near falls late in the first following a single takedown for Quiet. Quiet looking to gain his footing. Escapes. Now it's 12-0. One and a half to go in the second. Quiet driving in, has the left leg of O'Brien.
He's going to want to pick that up.
Still neutral, but he does pick it up. Now will he sweep? He does.
Notice that, guys. He doesn't stay on his knees to finish that shot. He comes to his feet and then finishes with a back trip.
There's a takedown, make it 14-0. We're 1 point away from a tech fall here late in the second.
Maybe he'll let him go once, or maybe he'll just go for a tilt. Take nothing away from O'Brien. He's had a fantastic tournament. He beat Burns, who's definitely a contender at the weight in Division III. He beat Burns, and then in the semis, he actually beat a nationally ranked guy in Pieper. So O'Brien's had a great tournament, and just doesn't have enough to respond to Quiet today.
There's a stalling warning. Quiet looking to turn O'Brien. And the count is on. Some more points will come. This will end the matchup for Kyle Quiet.
That's great. Quiet gives a clap for himself, and I'm sure he's a bit relieved after chasing this crown for a number of years, finally to get it.
A 17-0 tech fall for Kyle Quiet.
Wow.
Who, after finishing second a year ago and third in 2011, has his first championship here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. Peer in on some of the other contests right now. We've got 3-1 score with a minute and a half remaining in the third over in the third place matchup. Third place matchup is the aforementioned Ryan Piper from Trine. He's taking on the fourth seed, Dan Schifferl from Wisconsin-Oshkosh. While the fifth place match is the eighth seed. That's Ben Kramer from Messiah to our left. He'll be taking on Jeremy Stepp from Heidelberg. With 1 minute left in the third over there. It's a 3-0 advantage.
Ron Beechler, the head coach of Ohio Northern, just came up to me and said he wanted that match. Quiet wanted that match. Quiet had told him before the finals, he said, Coach, this is my last college tournament before the National Series this year, and I want to win this tournament. He'd been chasing it for a couple of years, and he's just never been able to get it. So definite relief and definitely deserving for Kyle Quiet.
17-0 tech fall, I would say message received there.
Yeah,
right?
Message received. Message received. Kyle Quiet was not messing around.
Actually, I think it was 18-0 because I didn't factor in the riding time to the actual final count. How important is that, with this being really the last tournament kind of heading into the national sequence a little bit later on, to come up with a strong showing here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invite?
You know, it's really important. It's important for yourself personally because it sets you up psychologically for the national series, but it's also really important strategically because a lot of the matches that you wrestle here will be used as benchmarks to determine your seed in the qualifying tournaments for nationals, and that is really important given how tough the regional and other qualifying tournaments are this year. So it's a very important tournament, and your performance here is very important.
3 weight classes left. 184, 197, 285. A lot of Wisconsin schools coming up. In fact, of those 6 finalists, only 1 is from a non-Wisconsin school. That'd be Josh Thompson of Messiah, who's a freshman, who will appear in front of us momentarily. First, the awards at 165 as they are all positioned at receiving their medals. I love the array of cameras that come over to snap photos. It's a whole congregation of about 15 different cameras. You never know which one to look at, right?
That's right. That's right. It's just a shame it's a wrestling tournament. I mean, none of those pictures are going to be great, right? I mean, we're not exactly known for being good looking, so, I mean, you know, what can you do? I like it. There's one guy over there who's actually taking a video over there on his phone, which is great because from this day on, his phone will run a lot slower. And so, but it's good. You can watch this event over and over.
Unless he immediately removes it from his phone, right?
That's a great point. I mean, I guess I haven't figured out how to make that transfer, so my phone is just very sluggish.
So you're saying you take a lot of video?
Yeah, it seems like whatever I take just always remains on my phone, or whatever my kids take. So sometimes I'll see, you know, about 70 pictures in a row of one of my sons.
You trust them with your phone?
One of my son's foreheads. No, it's not intentional, right? They're thieves, pirates.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Onward to 184. In the white from Messiah, Josh Thompson, a freshman.
You know, I haven't mentioned this yet. Messiah is a great, great program, coached actually by a guy who, Brian Brunk, who spent a couple years here at Wheaton College and then ended up finishing elsewhere. But he has brought his team here for the last 10 years or so, and it gives a great bit of Northeast exposure to all the guys here that typically only wrestle guys from the Midwest. Not to mention his team is, I mean, it gets better and better each year.
Yeah, they've had a very strong showing, sitting in second place, trailing only Wisconsin Parkside. So Messiah really is the top Division III finisher right now. Although this could have bearing on the final finish as well, with Wisconsin Lacrosse, who was third, entering action. Eric Tui, a senior from Wisconsin Lacrosse, is in the silver, and he is scrambling defensively quickly to avoid the quick feet of Josh Thompson, who as a freshman, Dan, is 26-1.
Wow. For any of you who are wondering what happened to Joe Rao from Elmhurst, #1 ranked guy in the country and also the #1 seed here at the tournament, he as well was a minute or so late for the weigh-in, and just based on NCAA rules was not able then to weigh in. Incredibly unfortunate situation. Would have been great to see Joe here wrestle in the finals. If I've got my facts right, actually Thompson, I believe, beat Rao last year in the national tournament, and therefore it would have been a great bout. Nonetheless, you know, Tui's had a great tournament, and you know, hopefully he can give Thompson a run, maybe even upset the favorite here.
Eric Tui won his first match over Eddie Terrace of Lakeland in a fall. Just over 3 minutes there. Followed it up with a 6-0 blanking of William Lockhart from Muskingum, and a 10-6 decision over the 4th seed, Matt Guile from Wisconsin Parkside. And as Dan mentioned, the default into the championship. On the flip side, Thompson out of Messiah with a fall in under 2 minutes over Jay Howarth from Wisconsin Oshkosh, then an 8-3 decision over Brian Steinmetz from John Carroll, and a 2-1 win over the 6th seed in a hotly competitive match against Jeff Holm from Olivet to reach the championship. Still scoreless. Time ticking down into the first minutes, and they become friends with our microphone there.
That's one of the great things about wrestling. You have a guy here from Messiah who's one of the top guys in the country in Thompson. And then you've got Tui, who's younger, probably 9 inches taller than Thompson. Totally different body style, totally different style of wrestling. And yet, you know, we're going to sit here and watch this match unfold and see who can use, you know, what the Lord's given them to try and get leverage and advantage over their opponent. And that's one of the things I love about the sport of wrestling.
Josh Thompson won the Messiah Invitational, 38-6.
Thompson has a near side cradle locked up there. It'll be interesting to see if this decides to come around behind.
There's the first points to Thompson. Prepped at Mechanicsburg High School in Pennsylvania. Eric Toohey, meanwhile, 20-5 this year. Solid progression from a 15-11 mark a season ago, and a split time between 165 and 174. Final 10 seconds of the first. Thompson looking to turn Toohey. That's it for the first. Third place match is Matt Geil of Wisconsin Parkside. And he is taking on, find him on the chart here. I love how they do the first initial. It's Dowdley is who he's facing. Back it up. Richard Dowdley of Heidelberg in third place. There is no fifth place matchup.
Thompson trying to get an escape, trying to stay on the mat. He gets it. Now he's right back at it.
So it's quickly 3-0 now for Thompson. Impressive young man as a freshman, 26-1. A minute and a half to go here in the second. Toohey looking to use a little bit of his size advantage. But he's kind of in a position right now where he cannot drive forward. Looking to bring Thompson down to the mat. Last minute of the second. Thompson spinning around and throwing Toohey. Back to a neutral position.
Thompson's got tree trunks for legs. I'm not surprised that Toohey hasn't yet been able to, really get an offensive shot off. The size advantage again. It'll be interesting when they go to the mat if Thompson has any, or Toohey rather, has anything that he likes to hit on the mat, being as he's so long.
He trails 3-0. 30 seconds left in the second.
Clear that underhook before you attack. You can't attack through that underhook. You got to clear that underhook.
So he's got to get head position or he's never going to score.
Hey, red zone, Thompson. Red zone.
He's on his heels a lot.
Thompson keeping the pressure.
You got 10, man. You got 10.
Not letting Toohey back in.
Watch your ankles. Hey, on your toes, on your toes. There you go. Good.
Final 5 seconds.
Look it up.
So he's got a little front headlock, probably let the period run out.
So after 2, it's Thompson from Messiah in the white over Toohey from La Crosse, 3-0. 2 final minutes up on the board. By the way, thanks to our producer here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational, Rusty Lindsay. He's been seated to our right. He's not here, of course, the moment that I sing his praises.
He's probably enjoying the concession stand again.
Did you send him any orders?
No, I should have.
Thompson circling.
Grab the other ankle.
2 more matches to follow this one, and it'll be all for this 2013 Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. He's Dan Weber. I'm Tim Calderwood. Glad you're alongside. We're at 184 presently.
I'm just glad you're here, Tim. Otherwise, this whole broadcast would be boring.
You're the ginger to my spice, or something like that.
Wow.
1:10 remaining.
Tim's no rookie. He's been doing this for years for a number of different sports, and he really does carry the broadcast. Not that I had to tell any of you that, but I do appreciate him being here, and it's a real fun day for us.
Toohey looking for the escape, now trying to reverse perhaps on Thompson. He's being shut out here in the third.
I don't see Thompson giving up points.
Thompson, in terms of decisions so far, has allowed only 4 points. He did pick up a fall in his first bout. Not sure if he had surrendered any points prior to the pin, but officially has surrendered only 4 points.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody scoring an offensive point on him. In the semis, it was an escape, and in the quarterfinals, it was also a couple of escape points there. I don't know if he's been taken down all tournament.
Look out as the third place match comes into view. At the same time, Tui's only surrendered 6 points in this entire tournament as well.
That's right.
He had a fall and a shutout to his credit. 20 seconds left. This could still hinge on one last push from Tui if he has anything on Thompson. And he's working for it. They did give him an escape point there, and now he's driving for the takedown. Looking to hog tie the left leg of Thompson. But that'll be it. The final score. Thompson of Messiah with a 4-1 win over Eric Tui from Wisconsin Lacrosse. Josh Thompson, the freshman, with an impressive showing. Wins a championship in his first year.
What a tough kid. Embracing Brian Brunk over there as coach. Brunk is certainly proud.
Thompson was the third freshman to reach the championship, but the first to end up victorious. Joseph Herr from Parkside lost to Nate Fitzenreiter of North Central. That was at 133. And then Nick Fishback is a redshirt freshman from Wisconsin Parkside. He lost at 165 to Nazar Kolchinsky. Nice battle brewing in the third place showdown. It's even at 4 apiece, and a quick reversal, though, in the final moments will allow a victory here for Richard Dowdley, the unseeded wrestler out of Heidelberg. Surprise victory as he takes out the 4th seed from Wisconsin Parkside.
So who do we have in the finals now at 97?
We have Daviana Willis from Wisconsin Parkside and Shane Seifert from Wisconsin Whitewater. We have only Wisconsin wrestlers the rest of the way in front of us.
Shame.
James Malachek, a redshirt senior from Parkside, will wrestle 285 along with Anthony Edgren, a sophomore from Whitewater there. Presentation of awards coming for 174.
So, Tim, here's a little quiz, okay?
All right.
How many pull-ups do you think that Coach Grunwald from Wheaton can do? This is obviously without taking a break.
Well, I can't do 5, which is bad.
Hey, I mean, we didn't need to get things like that in public. But what would you think a guy like Grunwald? You know, he's called Pocket Hercules.
Okay.
Okay, stands at 4'10" with his lifts in.
How about I give you an over/under?
Dude, that's fair.
You tell me. I'll give you a number, and you say if I got to go over it or under.
Okay.
Let's go 25.
I mean, you know you're talking about an Olympian, right? I'm going to say over. I was looking for something more respectable out of you, but over.
How about 75?
Over.
Really? If I hit 100, would I have to go over?
If you hit 100, you'd be right on the nails. He can do 100 pull-ups.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't believe it.
You literally sat there, watched him, and counted?
Yes, and he's done it many times. He is an absolute freak. And this was after he had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder.
Wow.
100 pull-ups.
Jim Grunwald in his 4th season as the head coach here at Wrestling. He's also the head strength coach for the entire Wheaton Athletics Department. Olympian, Greco-Roman wrestler. Graduated from Maranatha up in Wisconsin.
The last time he competed internationally, he was 38. That means I still have 3 years to not compete.
You better work with him to get you in shape.
Oh, I mean, it's going to take a lot more than 3 years. Not to mention everything he did between the time he graduated college at 35. So the finals here is about to get started, but on mat for 3rd place, we've got Darren Faber from Wheaton going against Landis from Elizabethtown.
Faber is the 4th seed. And it's the 5th seed. In front of us, it's the top seed, Davion Willis, and the 3rd seed, Shane Seifert. Willis, a redshirt sophomore, ranked 7th in Division II. He's 21-3 this year. He's 54-1 as a high school senior at Milwaukee. Custer won the state title at 171 pounds. Shane Seifert, ranked 8th in Division III, 24-6 this year. Only a freshman for Wisconsin-Whitewater. Both are wearing black. The maroon headgear is on Willis. The American flag is on the backside of Seifert's singlet.
These guys are feeling each other out. You know, both Wisconsin schools. Wouldn't be surprised if they at least have seen each other before, even if they haven't wrestled.
Willis almost in a football stance at points, kind of tapping around his fingers along the edge of the mat. 1 minute in, no scoring. Looking at each other here. Now it's Willis wrapping his arms around the head of Seifert. Going to strut forward to the edge of the circle.
Willis is digging into underhooks. Hope you got to have some position there if he's going to score. Otherwise, Seifert's actually in a better position than him.
Hello.
Almost got those guys on her lap.
I probably would have stabbed him with this pencil in my hand, which I didn't realize.
On the foreign object.
Davion Willis opened with a major decision over Lucas Weber from Muskingum, followed it up with a 4-2 decision over the 8th seed Andrew Simpson of Olivet. And in the semifinals, he was able to blank the 4th seed, Darren Faber from Wheaton. Shane Seifert is the 3rd seed, a tech fall in his opener. And a 12-8 decision over the 6th seed, Mario Palmisano from Chicago, and a 13-10 decision over the 2nd seed, Andrew Lovins from Heidelberg. So he likes to score a lot of points for Seifert so far, but it is scoreless with 40 seconds left in the first of the championship bout.
He's having a hard time here, obviously, getting past Willis's defense. Willis has got fantastic defense. That match against Faber in the semis was a good example of it, and looks like Willis lost his contact.
27.2. He'll affix it to the left eyeball, blink a couple times, and look towards the bright lights here at King Arena. Still scoreless in this first.
Willis is really hanging on Seifert's head, and interesting to see if it makes a difference as the match goes on, trying to break Seifert's stance, get his back tired, get his neck tired. Right so far he hasn't really done much with it, except for one pass by earlier in the period, but it could definitely play into his strategy as the match goes on.
Two minutes up. Willis will start in the down position. And a quick caution issued to Willis. Willis to his feet, looking for the quick escape. Other ideas for Seifert trying to lift him. But Willis does dance away, quickly falling to the mat, looks a little shaken, but quickly circles and returns to his feet. .135 in the second.
Darren Faber's losing 2-1 right now in the middle of the second period on the 3rd place match.
A couple of seeded wrestlers there, a couple of seeded wrestlers in the 5th place match as well. Ironically, all of the top 8 seeds here at 197 have reached the place matches. The 7th place match was the 8 and the 7. The 5th place match is the 2 and the 6. The 4 and the 5 are meeting for 3rd, and the 1 and the 3
big high crotch.
For 2nd.
Let's see if Seifert can finish this. Willis showing why it's tough to score on him. one of the coaches in Seifert's corner from Whitewater is Ben Peterson. Anyone that knows wrestling history knows Ben Peterson was a Olympic champion, and he's helping out there now, at least with Seifert right now at Wisconsin Whitewater.
45 seconds in the second. 1-0 lead for Willis. Quite the contrast in styles. We mentioned Seifert, very aggressive, likes to score. Willis looks to keep those scores down. Combined total of just 8 points in his last 2 matches here at the Pete Wilson Invite.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't really like this double head tie that Willis is doing. I think it's a really defensive position. There's no way he can score from it, and it makes it really tough for your opponent to score as well. So these guys are getting a little bit chippy here. It's definitely going to be an energetic third period.
Final 5 of the second. And to the third we go, with Willis holding a 1-0 lead over Seifert. Seifert is in the down position to begin the third. Willis with his hands on his hips. Comes set and we're underway. Seifert fighting to his feet, looking to rip away from the grasps of Willis.
Warhawks coaches are saying, get up, get up, get up, turn up the pace, turn up the pace. Now Willis gets called for stalling for a failure to try and take Seifert down to the mat.
1:44 left in the third. Only 1 point. That was on an escape from Willis to begin the second. There's an escape from Seifert to tie it up. It's 1-1.
Looks like this will come down to a takedown. Now remember that Willis does have a stalling caution against him. One more stalling caution, he'll be giving up a penalty point.
Willis crouching. Working high on Seifert. Shuffles away.
A lot of hands in each other's faces in this one.
1 minute left. Battle continues to the edge of the mats. We'll have a stalemate.
See if either one of these guys has enough in the tank to score. Again, that double hanging on the head is a frustrating one.
Look out, Seifert knocked in the eye. Taking a moment here.
30 seconds left. No riding time advantage, 1-1. This is when it comes down to heart. Hardly matters how technical you are, hardly matters how good you are. It just comes down to who wants it more.
Willis has position. Now Seifert looking to counter. Willis twisting around on a late takedown. Seifert frustrated as he's down on the mat.
The toe is still in for Willis.
Seconds.
So they see how Willis was smart. He kept his toe in as long as he could, so the clock continued to run down. So now there's 7 seconds left. Willis will try and ride him out, or maybe he'll just try and let him go. He's certainly not going to let him get a reversal.
There's a caution on a red. Seifert trying to react a little early, recognizing the time on the clock, just 6 9/10. And Willis will not even allow him to escape. The final, Davion Willis 3, Shane Seifert 1. Wisconsin Parkside, who will likely leave with their second consecutive championship trophy here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational, picks up another individual crown by a 3-1 score as Willis, the top seed, comes away with the win.
Big win for Willis. That's a good match. That's a really good match. And at the end, like I said, He came in with double underhooks, and he scored points when he needed to score.
That is the first championship for Wisconsin Parkside. They've had several individuals in the finals, 5 in total. They'll have one more coming up here at 285, but Willis, the first of those to claim the championship. You could say there was a mild upset at 157 where Dylan Barra from Wisconsin Parkside lost the decision narrowly to Elias Larson of Trine. "30 seconds left on the mat to our left. That is the 5th place contest. The 2nd seed, Andrew Lovins of Heidelberg. The 6th seed, Mario Palmisano from Chicago. Deadlocked at 2 with no riding time advantage there. We look to the left, Lovins on the back of Palmisano. They might be headed for overtime.
Oh, he's got 6 seconds to get away.
Palmisano is in the down position, no riding time advantage. And again, this is to our left. It's the match for 5th. Can Palmisano score a late escape? Close to it, but they'll head to OT.
So we got overtime over here. 20 seconds remaining.
Quick escape, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he let him up.
So they're actually having an overtime match versus a sudden victory bout, which is what happened in the championships in front of us earlier.
Here we go. Looks like University of Chicago's going to get it. He's got to bring him to the mat. Or no points. No points.
Too late.
That was a heck of a match. It was in 3 overtimes. And to think I was tired after the first period.
Palmisano frustrated and gassed, it appears, after that one.
That's an especially tough match. It's a 5th place bout. 2 guys giving their heart after they just wrestled 5 matches throughout the weekend. That's a tough one.
So the awards presentation for the 184-pound class is underway. While all the heavyweights ready for their final matches and our final matches of the day. It's been fun as always here at the Pete Willson-Wheaton Invitational. Glad that you've been able to join us on WETN. I'm Tim Calder with Dan Weber as alongside for some analysis here for one more contest. And again, looking into the standings entering the finals today, Wisconsin Parkside was in solid position to win the championship. Messiah 2nd, Wisconsin Lacrosse 3rd, Wisconsin Whitewater 4th, and Olivet 5th. I have to believe we're probably not going to see a whole lot of change there in the top 5.
Nah, too big of a point differential, I think, and all the main points have been accounted for. And yeah, I don't know if there could be a change between Whitewater and Lacrosse, but
well, we're going to have Whitewater and Parkside in front of us. I don't think so. I think looking at the way the results have gone, it appears as though Lacrosse will be able to hang on over Whitewater. Olivet lost its chance to sneak ahead of Whitewater, perhaps, with a surprise upset. Was it 149, where Gage Peterson lost to Greg Sanders. And so let's get to it. The final match of the day. In the heavyweight division, it's the top 2 seeds. James Malachek, a redshirt senior from Wisconsin Parkside. He's in the black with Parkside across the chest in green and the white paw on the backside of his singlet. Pinstripes along the side of the singlet for Anthony Edgren, a sophomore from Wisconsin Whitewater. Malachek is ranked 4th in Division II, 19-4 this season, finished 5th a year ago at this event. 2012 Division II All-American, placing 6th. Anthony Edgren, 24-3 as a sophomore for Whitewater. He's the 2nd seed. One other match underway. That's the 3rd place contest. The 3rd seed and the 7th seed. Jeremy Reith from Elizabethtown, Adam Robinson from Alma. And Malachek, nothing yet. Right to the edge of the net. Was very close.
That's exciting to see that at the beginning of a heavyweight match. Sometimes these can be sleepers. Or sometimes it's the calm before the storm. Because when one of these guys hits the mat, it feels like an earthquake.
Malachek with a tech fall, and he reached the championship with a disqualification win over Jack Lewis from Elmhurst. We talked about that earlier today as well. Edgren opened with a pin of Ryan Cook from Concordia, then scored a 4-3 decision over Adam Robinson of Alma, and a 3-1 win over the 3rd seed, Jeremy Reith from Elizabethtown. 1:45 in the first, still scoreless. Malachek just kind of sizing up his opposition. Putting his paws up high, looking to drive forward.
Left hand. Pass that elbow, get that left hand inside. Left hand inside.
Closing in on the final minute of the first. Almost had some points. Oh,
look at that.
Edgren caught off balance. Malachek trying to take advantage. And he does indeed score the takedown here in the final minute.
Nice reaction there, and he's keeping his weight on him. He wants to keep him on the mat. He's not looking for a fresh start.
Thrusting him back. And Edgren will be in the down position. 45.9 left in the first. Edgren to his feet, cannot rip away the grasp of Malachek. Now Edgren perhaps looking for a counter. There's an escape. 2-1. Malachek quickly looks to recover, sizes up Edgren.
Left hand.
25 seconds to go in the first. Scoreless first in the 3rd place match.
First period coming to a close.
Just under 5 seconds to go. In the neutral. First period's in the books. Choice belongs to Malachek. And he will start down with that 2-1 lead, looking to make it a 2-point edge with a quick escape.
The announcer just said that they're calling for outstanding wrestler ballots. If you had to vote for your outstanding wrestler based on what we've seen today, who would you vote for?
Boy, there have been some impressive performances, that's for sure. I would have to say Kyle Quiet, I think, from Ohio Northern.
Yeah, he definitely was impressive.
But there's also, I mean, you've got the The Nazar Kolchinsky option at 165.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably 3 wrestlers that are in position right now as I look at it. And Elias Larson from Trine, I mean, he recorded 4 falls.
Yeah.
So those would probably be your 3 options, I would imagine.
Quiet, Kolchinsky, and Larson. Is that who you said possibly?
Yes. They have a medical stoppage with 125 in the second. And I would lean Quiet simply because he's the number 1 wrestler in Division III and was so dominant in his championship match at 174. Although don't underestimate that win for Elias Larson at 157 either, because he took down the number 1 wrestler in Division II.
That's the thing. Because it was number 1 against number 1, I might have to lean toward Elias Larson, but these are always a tricky vote because you feel like it's a combination of lifetime achievement plus, you know, what happened in this very tournament. And so seeing as 157 was arguably the toughest weight in the tournament, my vote probably goes for Elias Larson, but could easily see Kolchinsky or Quiet winning it as well. And any of those guys or whoever these coaches decide would be certainly worthy.
Tim Wenicky of Wisconsin Platteville earned the honor last year. Back underway here in the second. It's 3-1 advantage.
I have to confess, Tim, when it gets to this time of the tournament, I start to get a little nervous.
Why's that?
Because there's still a part of me that really hopes I might win the Outstanding Wrestler Award.
I will vote for you. How does that sound?
Well, I'm actually feeling like you probably wouldn't be the only one.
Okay.
And that's why I get a little nervous, and also I'm like clearly very insane at that point. But there's a part of me really goes, I wonder if they call my name. And all the coaches got together and they just decided, you know what, he didn't even wrestle today, but his impact was so big 10 years ago or 15 years ago that we're going to give him the Outstanding Wrestler Award.
Well, how about this? Your impact on the broadcast was very effective today.
Well, I think that's debatable, but I actually did a decent job when I was wrestling, and frankly, I did better in my own mind than I even think people saw. So I still think there's a chance I could win it. I think it's an outside chance, but obviously, if you throw your vote in, then
well, I just told you who I was voting for, but now I'm changing it.
Good.
6-1 advantage.
Saying there's a chance
for Malachek. 1 in a million?
1 in a million.
As we move to the third, Malachek with an extra point added on for riding time at this juncture. Anthony Edgren, a sophomore, against the redshirt senior from Parkside. Edgren quickly to his feet.
Edgren's getting hands, trying to get away. Certainly not giving up. It's just a sophomore, huh?
Just a sophomore. I have a feeling we'll be seeing his name maybe next year.
Yeah. It's a good bookend for Coach Tim Fader at Whitewater. He's done great things with that program. And to the point where at this point they're a nationally ranked team, and a guy like Edgren helps a lot to keeping you in that class for the next couple of years.
Adam Robinson of Alma with a 4-3 lead in the third place match. 1:15 remaining in front of us, over 2 minutes of ride time for Malachek. And a stalling warning is called on Edgren. He's trying to do something underneath. Malachek pounding away. Edgren just looks frustrated at the bottom.
Yeah. Malachek's keeping all his weight on him. Ty got him tied up. Tough to get away.
Edgren to his knees. Cannot escape Malachek. Now rolls.
Here. Going for the crossface. Malachek's got to be careful.
Reversal. Edgren on the reversal.
Malachek gets to near fall. Edgren gets a reversal. It was smart at Malachek to let that go, or he could have been in a tough spot.
7-3 the count. Clock winding away, 15 seconds. And again, Malachek with an advantage in riding time as well. but it does not appear to be a major decision here. Malachek will become the second consecutive winner for Wisconsin Parkside. They went all afternoon without a champion, but played the last two titles at 197, and in the heavyweight division at 285, it was James Malachek by the final of 8-3.
Well, Tim, thanks for letting me pollute the airwaves with you. I look forward to doing it again next year, and again, I'm glad you carried us, and it's another great tournament for the Pete Wilson Wrestling Invitational, and saw a lot of great performances. Saw, big victories, painful defeats, and it was a day not to be missed.
And a lot to build upon as the season continues to progress in 2013. So, Dan, thanks for the time. It was fun, as you mentioned. And for our producer, Rusty Lindsay, Dan Weber, I'm Tim Calderwood. Thanks for watching the 2013 Pete Wilson-Wheaton Invitational Championships.
Bye now.